Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Honest Conversations with Esther. My name is Esther, and if you're joining us for the first time, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Also, I'm on Instagram and my username is Esther at Miss Hills. So that's Esther, ASTAR underscore Miss Hills. And just like that, we'll be able to be interactive. So for the month of February, I started the series of letting go, and I'd announced that we're going to discuss it threefold. So that's letting go in relationships after a breakup, letting go when a career or a job changes, we're unable to do what you used to do anymore, and three, letting go of grief after the loss of a loved one. So today we're going to be talking about the second part of the series, which is letting go of a career prospect or just something that you used to do to earn a living, and also letting go of an activity or a season that has run its course in its life and you're unable to do it anymore. So first off, I'd like to say that on this channel it's called Honest Conversations with Esther for a reason. I don't present a perfect manicured version of my life that doesn't exist, a perfect Photoshop picture, that doesn't exist. But here we're open and honest with each other, so if you'd like to comment or you have a question, please don't forget to do that down below. Now let's get into it. So around December of 2020, I actually lost my job, and it was the second major loss I had gone through that year, because just a few months before in August I lost my dad, and then in December the contract for a job that I was really enjoying actually came to an end, and it came to an end abruptly and surprising. So that's something I really enjoyed, and it came by a surprise. So the first thing that I learned is that change is the only constant. It's not a question of if change is going to happen, it's a question of when change is going to happen. You have to be ready for your life to change in one way or another. And sometimes it's not nothing that you do, it's no fault of your own. It's just that sometimes seasons or careers in our lives have run their course and we have to move forward. Second, the second thing you need to keep in mind if you're going through a similar situation of loss in terms of your career or job, or it could even be school, you can't study this particular program anymore, you failed out of your course, is to never attach your identity to the things that you do. Now, what am I talking about? I'm talking about the fact that if you sing, being a singer is not your only identity. Now, what this means is that supposing you lost your voice, you would never lose yourself, because you'd be able to remember the fact that you're still a full person, you could still do many wonderful things in your life. But when you attach your identity to the things that you do, or you attach it to your 9 to 5, once you lose that, you will actually lose yourself. So never attach your identity to the things that you do. Next thing is to not be fixated, don't be fixated on things working out one particular way. You have to open up your mind to creativity and recognize that the world is too vast for you to be limited to being able to do just one thing. What being fixated on things working out your way, what that does is that it actually puts you in a scarcity mindset. You always be in the mindset of the loss. Instead of thinking, what else can I do in my situation, you're thinking in a limited way and thinking, I can't do anything about it. So never be fixated on one particular way, on one solution. I know it's a cliche, but they say, think outside the box. There's more that you can actually do. Next is that seasons come to an end. One season gives way to the next. Nature itself teaches us. One moment it's rain season, the next it's the cold season, the other time it's the dry season, the other time the sun is out, and that's how things are always move. So in life, you don't have to be solid like a rock. In life, you have to be fluid, like water, changing and being able to move in the different meanders, and changing according to whatever container you're placing in that particular time. So you have to be fluid like water to get through life and its different meanders and changes. So next is to also have a support system. There's no award for who can suffer the most. We need, as a generation, to stop getting advice from memes to cut off people and cut off culture. We are not creatures of isolation, we are creatures of association. Even the Bible says that it is not good for man to be alone, because God recognized that human beings are inherently, the way he created us, we are creatures of association, and that means we need to associate with other people. There's no award for who can suffer the most by themselves. If help is available, speak to someone, ask a friend for help, how you can get around it, you know. Who knows, you're out here pretending to have it all together, but your friend knows somebody who can actually give you a job. So feel free to ask for help, speak to people, you know. And sometimes I know not all of us have healthy support systems, but I'm grateful that I had a healthy support system. But if there's no healthy support system, then you've got to get through it and find a way to get through it by yourself. But I encourage you to seek out, actively seek out healthy support systems, because I see a lot of memes around telling you if they wanted to help you they would, but sometimes some people don't know whether it's inappropriate. They see you struggling, they don't know whether it's inappropriate to offer you money, you know. So actively seek out the help that you need and speak to people about it. I find that there are actually too many people who have committed suicide because they didn't have people to support them during the things that they were going through, you know. Depression thrives in places of isolation, so don't be isolated by any means necessary. Of course, there are times when you have to go and be by yourself to think things through, but quickly snap out of it and speak to someone during those times. Moving forward, recognize that the plan is for things to be good for you. So what kept me comfort during these times is actually Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans not to harm you, but to prosper you. Plans to give you hope and a future. So what this means basically is that Nkani is civic. We're going to win no matter what actually happens. But in different times in life, it will seem like you're going through a loss. That season was meant to teach you something, you know. And sometimes we view the beauty of something just in the longevity, how long it lasts, or it lasting forever. But some things are beautiful just in the short season that they lasted. They've taught you something, and now it's time to actually move forward. Now, on the financial series, I know I didn't do one for the month of February. For the financial series, I'm going to be talking about how to get through when you've lost your job, some changes that you can make financially to actually help you through and push your coin as far as it can go, and just how to get into survival mode when you're laid off. So this has been this week's episode of Honest Conversations with Esther, and I'll catch you next week with more on the same subject of loss, and this time we'll be doing loss in terms of grief, and I'll also add a financial aspect to it, how I got through it and the things that I've learned. It has really been a lesson in the school of hard knocks, but I'm looking forward to sharing this honest bits with you. Let me just look through my notebook. I think I've actually covered everything. So just remember that this too shall pass. Everything comes to pass. Nothing lasts forever. When you're in the moment, it feels like this season is just not ending. But it's important to remain in the right frame of mind and just know that once it's going to pass, and good things and better days are definitely ahead. Have a great week, and see you on the next episode of Honest Conversations with us.